So I promised you guys a chit chat with me, a Q&A, and I posted a poll on Instagram. The questions y'all were sending in, chef's kiss, okay? They were really good. So I'm going to try and get through some of them. I may not have time for all of them, but I promise to do a part 2. So if I did not answer your question, be sure to hit me up in the comments like, hey, sis, don't forget my question in the next one, okay? Y'all was sending in some good questions, okay? That smack was very ghetto. I didn't like that, and I hope that wasn't cringe to y'all ears. So first question, how has marriage and motherhood been in this season of your life? Child, pour me some tea. Y'all ready? Like, no. I feel like marriage in this season of my life has been really tough. Not in a sense of me and my husband, going at it, but in a sense of not having that partner here, or my spouse here, because if you don't know, my husband does travel a lot for ministry. He's very devoted to God. He's very devoted to doing the work of God. He's very devoted to that, right? And I wholeheartedly support it. But there are times where he travels and baby, he be gone. Where the two shall be one. Feels like 2 equals none. But it has been hard. But God is so intentional. Let me just tell y'all how, because as my husband travels, every time he travels, God does a new thing in me. He shows me me. He takes me deeper in him. So it's like, although that void is there, because of course, what wife wouldn't want her husband around 24/7? Unless, I don't know. But what wife wouldn't want her husband around, right? But God finds ways to show me, my daughter, I am all you need. I gave you this man, but I am all you need. Dwell in my presence, be with me, chat it up with me, And during this time, especially in this season of my life, he has been showing me just things that I haven't healed from, things that I need to deal with, things that have surfaced, that were deep rooted within. And I think it's just so intentional that he's given me this time to be able to do that while my husband is away. Because as a wife, maybe you come last. And a mother, you have to serve your husband, your child, and then yourself. And yeah. So, marriage has been tough, only just because my husband hasn't been here. But at the same time, I'm excited for this new season of marriage because God is doing a new thing in me. I feel like I'll be able, when my husband comes back, to show him a more improved version of myself. So I'm excited for that. Motherhood has been amazing, y'all. No one prepares you. Seriously, no one prepared me for how fast babies grow. Having the opportunity to watch a human being grow, he's meeting milestones, he's doing new things, every week is something new, and I'm just sitting back and I watch him. Sometimes I know I'm pretty sure if I could read his mind, I'm pretty sure I get on his nerves, because there's times where I'll just hold him and kiss on him, kiss, kiss, kiss. I'm smelling his feet, smelling his hair, smelling his neck. It's just little things, because he is growing so big, and soon I won't be able to hold him. I won't be able to smell his feet. Well, I'll probably always smell his feet until he gets teenage years, because we're not doing that. But yeah, motherhood has been amazing. Just watching my son grow. The little things that he's doing, he's saying dada now. I think it's so cute. But where's the mama? Where's that? Mama. I might need to have him start watching Miss Rachel. Mama. Mama. He needs to start saying mama. Because the dada is cute. I'm happy. I know you love your dada, but what about mama? What about me? But yeah, motherhood has been amazing. All in all, marriage and motherhood, the 2 M's, they've been great in this season of my life. But I just feel like God is doing a new thing within me so that I can better operate in both heads, as a wife and as a mother. So that has been amazing. Next question. What does your daily/weekly routine look like in balancing them all? Child. What's funny is I was just, when I was thinking about, how I was going to approach these questions and answer your questions, what's crazy is I remember the fact that I can even have a schedule is crazy, because I remember when I first started, I first got connected with my church family, my church home. And I remember a prayer I made to God. I was just like, God, your way, not mine. I want more of you. I want to serve you. I want to, I just want you. And in that season from 2022 up until, I want to say, sometime in 2024, I knew it was end of 2022 or 2023. My life was not my own. So to have a schedule, I had a schedule, but it was a servant schedule. I had to be accessible for God. Whatever capacity or whatever way he wanted me to serve, I had to make myself available to do so. Like, I literally, if he's telling me wake up and pray, I got to wake up and pray. If I have to go to the church, I have to go to the church. It was like my life was not my own. So the fact that I can now say, I have a schedule, that's crazy. Like, I can schedule out my day. It's so wild to me. But if I'm honest, I do miss serving. I miss that. I don't want to say work, because it's not work. Yes, it's work, but it's like more spiritual than physical. I just miss the receiving aspect of serving. Like, as I know, I'm making sure a need is met for my father, for his kingdom, I'm receiving on the end. I'm receiving as well. Because I remember before I started serving God, like fully devoted in that, and I'm getting so off track from your question, I promise I'm getting to it. But before I was so like devoted into just serving God, serving his kingdom, meeting the needs for his house, meeting the needs for his prophets, meeting the needs for his people, I remember not being able to remember my dreams. I remember like not having dreams and thinking that was just normal. The moment I started getting serious about serving him, I was remembering my dreams, and God would communicate to me through my dreams. It was given very much Joseph. But yeah. So back to your question. What does your daily/weekly routine look like in balancing them all? I will say that my schedule or my routine fits in my son's schedule. So I made a schedule for my son because I was sleep training him at the time. And as I was sleep training him, I'm like, he's not sleeping at night. So I need to schedule out his days so that I can tire him out and make sure that he's not taking too many naps during the day. Make sure that he, is not sleeping in the air, like, when the sun is up, but he's sleeping when the sun goes down. So as I created a schedule for him, like playtime, tummy time, teaching time, eating, napping, like those little things, I found myself making a schedule for myself. Like, okay, so when he does this, I can do this. And when he takes this nap, I can do housework. When he's going to sleep, I can go to the gym. When he, after his bath, I know he normally goes to sleep, so I can do Bible study while he's settling down, like things of that nature. So my daily routine, honestly, it just depends on the days, because Mondays are days that are devoted to God. Like, I serve his house. I serve him in whatever facet he calls me to serve him at any capacity I can. Because like I said, there was a season when I was doing nothing but serving him every day. Now that I'm not in that season, because I am a wife, I am a husband, and I'm serving my house, I'm serving my prophet, which is my husband, I'm serving my child, I feel like I am... I'm still serving God, but it's not the way I was serving before. So Mondays are dedicated to just serving him. I take my mommy hat off. I take my wife hat off for some time just to serve him. So yeah. And that looks like my Mondays are devoted to God. Tuesdays, every day, well, I'm not going to go day by day, but every day I do go to the gym when I can. So it's not a set time anymore, because of the simple fact, as I said it, I was trying to sleep train my son. And with that, it was like, sometimes I can go in the morning, and then sometimes I would have to go at night once I put him down. So it kind of differs, but I do try to go to the gym at least every day, if not every day, every other day. I also, every day I do Bible study, 9 p.m. Don't play with it. Every night at 9 p.m. I've been doing this now. I've been consistent for almost a month now. I've been doing Bible study, and I'm so proud of myself, because as I am getting more serious and devoted about, digesting my Father's word, pulling revelation, spending time with the Holy Spirit, and understanding these things, I've noticed a increase in my life spiritually. I've noticed my discernment increase. I've noticed the access that he's given me spiritually. So I'm so excited for that. I'm so grateful for that. I also have every day an hour that I pray. I'm not going to share that with you guys, but I do have an hour that I pray. And I do encourage you, if you don't have an hour where you sit and you just talk to your father, you meditate on his word, or you are worshiping him, I encourage you, everybody under the sound of my voice, if you don't, I encourage you to find that hour, and not just any hour. Make sure you are led by the Spirit of God when you pick your hour, because watch hours are a thing. And this is not a teaching. I'm not about to teach you, but if you don't know what watch hours are, please Google it, because it is a thing. And it's so important to have your hour where you know every day this is a non-negotiable. At this hour, I'm meeting my father because I know he's going to show up. He know I'm going to show up. And yeah, like it's like a date every day. So important. So every day I do have those dates with God. But balancing everything in my life, like being a mother, serving, being a wife, still building myself spiritually and spending that time with him, I feel like it's by God's grace. Because there are days where I don't feel like it. There are days when I'm dead tired, but it's his grace that gets me through. It's his strength that gets me through, because we know his strength prevails when we are weak. So if I'm mentally going through it, or physically, I just went to the gym, my body's going through it, it's literally like a push that he gives me, and I'm able to operate. But don't get me wrong, it's not all, peaches and roses, peaches and cream over here. Like, it ain't smooth sailing. There are days when I don't meet the mark, but I don't beat myself up if I can't balance everything. I don't sit in it too long if I do feel, because at the end of the day, I'm human. At the end of the day, life be life and life happens. So, but for the most part, I do just rely on God, because he has called me to these things. So I know it's him that's going to get me through these things. So yeah, I'm sorry, I keep smacking, and I pray it's not cringe to your ears. How do you manage? Next question. How do you manage whenever your husband is away for a while? Child, you got right to the nitty gritty. Baby, send help. SOS 911. Someone please call 911. Jasmine is going through it. Honestly, I'm going to keep putting y'all back to God, because honestly, that's what gets me through. But not just that. I do have revelation of my husband and his serving. Is it easy? No. It's hard as crap, because it's not like my husband leaves for a couple days. Sometimes it's weeks, but this time he's literally been gone for a month. And I will say this has been the hardest, because Valentine's Day was just yesterday. And I didn't get a chance to really spend our first year married with my husband. But at the same time, there's a price that you have to pay for the anointing. There's a sacrifice that comes when you are anointed. So it's like I have revelation of who God has called him to be. I know where God is taking him. So I know, and it's not like he's just out here luxury traveling. He's traveling for ministry. But does it suck? Yes. Does it hurt? Yes. Do I be going through it? Yes. But what gets me through it? It's God. Because God will never call us to anything that he is not there and readily available for us to tap on to get through. So I feel like it's in those times where I'm really like, yo, this is crazy. I cry out to my father. Like even yesterday, Valentine's Day, a day of love, the enemy tried to come for your girl. And I was crying. Like I really found myself in a space, but I had to pull myself out, because I guess culturally, I'm American and my husband is African. He's from Ghana. And culturally, his mindset isn't like on these, like Valentine's Day isn't a big thing to him. To me, I'm American, baby. I grew up wanting the big white wedding, wanting, like, I was about to say Cinderella, baby, not Cinderella. You ain't put me in no basement talking and dancing with mice. But like I always wanted that romantic, like I was a hopeless romantic. So it was just like, Valentine's Day as a wife, oh my gosh, like it was going to be amazing. And this was our first year being married. So did it suck? Yes. How do I manage when I am going through those emotions and those feelings? Because one thing I do know, and I'm very grateful for, that God has allowed me to be aware. So when I am going through things, I can't sit in it too long, because I'm aware. Like, okay, what thought that I feed or that I allowed in and I fed, now I'm here. So what happened where I pondered on it and I opened the door for the enemy to come in, and now he's planning and tormenting me. What did I do? So when I am aware, I'm able to sit and like analyze the situation and see where the root is. How did I get here? And then that's how I'm also able to pull myself out. Also, community is really big. I'm so grateful for my sisters because they are more than just friends. They are really like my sisters, my ride or die, set it off type, but I'm not Cleo. Um, they are more like my comfort zone when I am in these spaces because I feel like I can always be myself with them. So if I'm crying, if I'm, I want to vent to them or whatever the case, not only can I just come to them and be safe, but I know that I can depend on them to, well, not depend on them, but I know they'll help me get back to where I need to go and push me back. Like, it's God, Jazz. You know where God is taking y'all. You know he's called by God, or, just look to God. And they always pull me back to God. So I am grateful for that. But yeah, that's how I manage. It's literally just God and his grace, honestly. Next question. How did you prepare / allow God to prepare you to be a wife? Baby, I ain't want to be a wife. Like, yo, honestly though, that was something did I desire to be married? Yes, but that was nothing I ever prayed for. I never prayed to be a wife, but by the grace of God, here I am today, breaking generational curses, opening the door for my family, bringing anti-marriage off of our lineage. But I will say, I know this is cliche, but follow me, okay? Follow me. Definitely seeking God, because when I got serious about my relationship with God, I started to realize all I cared about was him. And he started to give me things that I desire. I wasn't even praying to him for it. And I wasn't even getting close to him because of these things. I was getting close to him because of him. I wanted him. I wanted more of him. But because he saw my heart was rooted in him, he started to bless me with things that I had a desire for, but it wasn't nothing like I wanted right away or I craved or it felt like I would live, like I couldn't live without. When I got serious about my relationship with him, I noticed that certain doors were opened for me. And that prepared me for the blessings that he was giving me just by being so like consumed in him, so wrapped up in his presence, so like readily available to just be with him, to worship him, to pray with him, child, to talk to him. But not just that, because I feel like that's so cliche. Everybody says that, seek Jesus, seek God, girl. You know, do he give you a husband? I feel like that's so cliche. What also prepared me is being submissive to God, being obedient. Because as a wife, it's a really, no one talked to me. Like I heard it in church and I heard it from elders about being submissive. Like you got to submit to your husband. You got to submit. But nobody really showed me the steps to do so. It was just telling me this is what you have to do. But when I got, and now mind you, I'm still working on my submission because I am very strong-headed. I'm an alpha female. My husband is an alpha man. And it's like, lion, lioness. We're getting there. Don't get me wrong. But I will say, being obedient to God, no matter what it felt like, no matter what I felt, no matter if I didn't understand, no matter if I knew how it was going to end, being obedient and trusting him, because through my obedience, he was showing me how to submit to him. Now, if you can't submit to God, you will never be able to submit to a man. Because truly, let me not say that. That's a lie. I literally just heard let me not say that. Holy Spirit said, baby, fix your words. One thing y'all gonna learn about me, I'm really working on learning how to articulate the things that I'm hearing, because it'd be a lot. My mind be going all over the place. If you don't submit to God or you're not obedient to God, it's going to be hard for you to submit to a man. It's going to be hard. Because that is our first level of submission, in my opinion. Okay. I feel like submitting to God looks like you obeying him no matter the sacrifice. You obeying him no matter if it doesn't look right. You obeying him no matter what you feel. Because when he gives you your husband, I'm going to keep it a stack. Women are very wise. And most of the time, we know more than the husband when it comes to like life and when it comes to certain things and structuring stuff out. And men are very rational. They do things sometimes and they don't think it through. But as a wife, we think things through. So our husbands could be like, oh, I'm about to go start this business. And as I start this business, I'm going to hire 50,000 people. And as a wife, it's like, okay, I see the vision, but we need to do X, Y, and Z before we invest that money to do so. But as a wife, you have to submit to this man, even if you know that his plan is going to fail, even if you know that this don't sound right, you have to submit. Not only that helped me like learning to submit to God, and so just surrender to him. Not only did that prepare me to be a wife, also serving him. Because as I served God, like literally served him, like I shared with the other question, my life was not my own from 22 to 23, 2022 to 2023, literally, and some of 2024. But when I got pregnant, I started to like kind of draw back from serving because my body was going through so much. But especially 2023, my life was not my own. And why wasn't it my own? Because I was serving God, and any way he saw fit, I had to make myself accessible to him. And when I was serving, I learned what sacrifice is. I learned what it looks like not to think of yourself. I learned what it looks like to have to adjust, to have to like just think of others before yourself. I learned that through serving. And when you are married to someone, you have to literally know how to sometimes sacrifice to meet the needs of the other person, or not to meet the needs of, like, just learn what sacrifice means, because as the two become one, there are certain things about yourself that cannot come. There are certain things about your husband that cannot come. So through serving, I learned what sacrifice truly was, and I learned what that looks like. I learned what it feels like. I learned what it sounds like. So that also prepared me to be a wife, and I hope that helps. How do you truly know that a man is or potentially is your husband? Baby, God. I'm gonna just leave it there. God. When God gives you something, there should be no confusion. Will there be questions? Of course, but there should be a confirmation that, okay, this is God. That's all I can say about it. What makes you focus on your spiritual journey? Oh, this is good. What made me focus on my spiritual journey? If I'm honest, y'all, I was tired of being blind. I was tired of being in the dark. I was tired of being caught off guard when the enemy came at me. I was tired. So when I started to notice things, and this is before I even really got serious about my spiritual journey, when I started to notice certain habits, when I started to notice how I would feel, like how I would like have a good day, highs and lows, I would be so high one day, and then like later on in the day, I would just seep into this dark, depressive state. I started to really analyze what is happening. Like I started to really study myself. I started to really like, why is it that when I do this, this happens? But when I'm this, like when I do this, this happens. Or when I'm in this atmosphere, this happens. And when I'm in this atmosphere, this is a result of me being in this atmosphere. Once I started to really analyze like cycles I saw in my life, not even my family, just my life, I realized, something is happening and you got to figure it out. And that's really what made me draw more near to God, because I knew that he had the answers for me. And I knew that there would be a sense of truth. And I do believe that is why he gave me Matthew 5:16, allow your light to shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Because as I shine the light that God has given me, it's not for me, but it's for others. And if I don't focus on my spiritual journey, who is in the darkness? Who is stuck and trapped somewhere because you aren't taking your walk serious with him? And that's literally been my revelation. My spiritual journey is for me to grow with my Father, to learn more things, to find more tools to defeat the devil, like to come against all the plans, all the schemes, everything that he's doing. But if I don't take my walk seriously, who is tied to my yes? Who is tied to the light that God has given me? We are all called, and we all have a light that God has given us to shine in whatever facet he has given us to shine in. But there are some people that I won't be able to reach that you guys can reach, that you won't be able to reach that I will reach. But if I'm not taking my walk in my spiritual journey seriously, who is in the darkness right now waiting for my light to come shine on them so that they can be pointed to Christ? And not even just that, my family, like I realized with my family, like it's like all of the men in my family were passing on like premature death. It wasn't like, yes, it was sickness, but it was just like, it's not normal for them to die this young. It's not normal for this sickness to just be passed on to each person. Like that's not normal. When I realized even the cycles in my family, I'm like, something has to give because this isn't normal. And I realized it's a war going on. Like y'all know this, it's a war going on in the heavenly. It's a war going on. I can't really sing, but y'all get like, it's really a war going on. And when I realized that, I'm like, yo, I can't play no more with the devil. I can't play with his schemes. I can't play with his tactics. He really taking my family out. I got to get serious. Not even just that, with being a mother now, there's a human being that God has given me to nurture, to care for, to protect. Although this child is God's child at the end of the day, he's entrusted me to bring him into this world. So because he has allowed me to do so, there's a certain level of responsibility that I now have. So it's like, to not take my spiritual journey serious, to not focus, hey, nah. But honestly, the root of it all is, what made me focus is I was tired of being blind, and I was tired of the enemy attacking me, and I didn't know how to get out. So that made me get serious about my spiritual journey. How is God showing up for your life how is God, let me add words to your question. How is God showing up for you this year? Every year God shows me a different level of him, like a different characteristic that he carries. And this year I do believe he's showing up as a father for me. Like he's always my father, but he's showing up as a father who loves me despite everything. Because it's his love that is really helping me heal through things. It's his love that is empowering me to love others. It's his love that's strengthening me this year. So we're only 2 months into the year. It's February 15th as I'm recording this. And it's literally, he's showing up for me as a loving father in this season of my life. And this year so far, he's just been showing up, and he's been showing me like I'm a promise keeper, because there are things that he promised me years ago that I'm starting to see, like those seeds grow. I'm starting to see things come to fruition that I've been new or I forgot about. And now it's just like, oh, wow, I did ask God for this long, long time ago. He carried through for the girl. So he's just showing me like how much he loves me. That's how he's showing up for me. Last question, and because I don't want this video to be too long, but I am going to do a part 2. I promise y'all. Can't promise y'all when, but I'm going to do a part 2. And I'll post the poll so that people can ask me more questions. Last question. How to prepare for motherhood? Ciao. Mentally, you have to be strong. You have to mentally prepare yourself for it. And this isn't to scare you. This is more so like in a sense of, to be trusted with another human being's life, you have to have a sound mind. And especially because the enemy comes to attack a lot of women when we give birth, because during that time we are so vulnerable in a sense of, your body is going through so much, your hormones are crazy. And it's so important to literally be mentally strong because of how the enemy will attack you. And I'm so grateful because like previously, like but prior to me having a child, if I had bad days, I would sit in bed, I would binge watch TV all day, eat snacks. I just wouldn't want to leave out my room. Sometimes not even shower. Like it was bad, okay? And those days I didn't have a responsibility. So it was just like, I can do that. Now that I have a child, I have to be mentally strong to push myself to pass through that, because there's someone that is dependent on me. He is dependent on me to feed him. He is dependent on me to show up and love him, to smile. Like babies need that. So I feel like preparing yourself in that sense of, one, making sure you're mentally strong. 2, be prepared to like brace yourself, because motherhood is something like you can serve. Like I served my spiritual parents and in a capacity of helping with their children, and being with someone else's kids will teach you how to, like, just being with kids, period. If you're a teacher, you're babysitting, you're helping someone with their kids, children teach you. They teach you how to be patient. They teach you how to adjust yourself to articulate certain things to them, because they're not at an adult level where they can understand maybe the verbiage that you use or certain words that you use, how you are to communicate things. Being with a child, it literally helps you adjust your mind and conform your mind to adapt to any like age group, in my opinion. But I feel like being like watching kids, being around kids, it's something that will prepare you, but at the end of the day, these kids you can give back to someone. When it's your child, it's you and that child. So there's no one to give the child back to unless the father is there, actively helping. But it's just you and your husband, or you and your child's father, you and, you ain't giving that kid back to nobody else. So one, being mentally strong, and two, I feel like gracing yourself, because this is something new. And that's something I literally had to do, like learn how to grace yourself before you give birth to your child, because you have to understand there are going to be days that are hard for you. There are going to be days where your body is going through something totally different. You're learning as you go as a mother, and you'll have so many voices coming in. And like, even social media I had to take a break from it when I had first gave birth, because it was so much happening. Do this with your child. Don't do this with your child. Let your child do this. Use this bottle. Don't use this bottle. Breastfeed. Don't breastfeed. It was so much going on. And it was like a weight on my shoulders to try to be the perfect mother I could be. I had to grace myself, because that was a standard that I couldn't hold myself to, because God didn't call us to be perfect mothers, but he did call us to be nurturing. He called us to care for them. He called us to love them. He called us to steward over them. But there's no such thing as a perfect mother. No such thing. So learn to grace yourself before you give birth, because there are going to be days where you may not meet the mark. Days where you may not, even though as much as you love your child, you need a break. And it's okay. But you have to learn to grace yourself. So mentally just prepare yourself for that, because motherhood is a lot. It is a blessing, though. It's beautiful to give birth. Oh my gosh. I wish that upon every woman, because that giving birth to a child, it's just the most beautiful experience ever. I'm patiently waiting for my next experience. I'm not rushing it. Patiently waiting. When God says so. Hopefully 2 years from now. But it's a beautiful experience. Motherhood is beautiful, but it comes with a lot. It's a blessing. But with every blessing, in order to sustain that blessing, there are things you have to do. So I would just say, prepare yourself mentally and just learn to grace yourself, and don't put on that hat of, oh, I want to go into this and be perfect. Don't be scared to fail. Don't be scared to ask for help. Don't be scared to lean on people, because your body is going to be going through so much. You're going to need a huge support system. You're going to need those people that can be your safe space. So that's my little, advice to you on how to prepare for motherhood. I pray that helps you. And I hope y'all enjoyed this little chit chat. If y'all haven't, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on my Be sure to like and comment on my previous videos. If you haven't watched them, go binge them. My vlog from January and from December, and my vlog from January. Make sure y'all go watch them. I'm going to post February's vlog at the end of the month, so like 2 weeks from now. And yeah, I love you guys with the love of Christ, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I talk so much with my hands. I love you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all at the next one.